Megan.
I'm Kate,
And this is Cooking with the Bells.
Right. So, as I'm sure y'all can see, I've already made one drink today. We're going to do Vietnamese style iced coffee. So, to start out,
Believe me, we need some coffee today.
yes, it's been a strange morning for all of us. So to start out, I'm going to take 1 tablespoon of sweetened condensed milk. We're using coconut sweetened condensed milk today,
Which I did not even know was a thing, but I'm extremely excited about since I'm dairy-free and haven't had sweetened condensed milk in ages.
We're also experimenting a make-it-yourself recipe because we realized that there are still areas that this is not available. But we'll let you know how that goes. Keep an eye out on our social medias for that one.
If it goes well, yes, you'll find us on Insta or TikTok or somewhere with it.
So, put that in there. Just to avoid making a sticky mess, I'm just going to stick that in my already made coffee. And then we're going to be using this little coffee filter. You can get them, we'll link an Amazon link down below. They're like $7-10. And honestly, I've gotten so much use out of this just because it's so portable. Like, I don't need paper filter. I just need my coffee, this, and hot water.
That's amazing.
And I'm good to go.
And it's so cute. It looks like a little stock pot.
Right? I love it to death. It's amazing. All right, so I'm going to put 1, honestly, it's my coffee scoop. It's about a tablespoon and a half of coffee.
Ground coffee, not instant.
Yes, and this is, what works the best is a medium course in these. But basically what I do is I pop it in.
Turn my friend down the wheel now that it's gotten hot.
And I just tap it. And basically, there's a little screw spout right here in the center that the top of your filter attaches to. And you basically just want to be level with that. And so then I'm going to take my filter, my top piece, and it just screws down. And you're just going to screw until you feel resistance. If some coffee grounds come up through the top, that's completely fine. They won't end up in your coffee, I promise. And then once you feel some resistance, you're going to back it off by like half a turn.
That is so nifty.
And then I'm just going to put it on top. And then we're going to put just enough water in to cover our grounds. And this is just going to bloom your ground so you don't get as much bitters, essentially. I can't really explain the science behind it. All I can tell you is in this particular brewing method, I do taste the difference. You just get a better extraction from the cup if you do this first. And just let that, you can see them starting to drip through all fun-like. And it'll only be a couple of drips because it's really just saturating your ground so that all the water I pour on now will actually extract and go through. And so now I'm just going to pour water in right to the top. Pop the lid on. That's mostly to keep it warm, but it makes me feel like I'm doing something unfancy. And then we just let it drip. And I am going to shift my stuff. My go-to coffee canister here that I use for any coffee that I grind. You know?
Y'all, it's cold here today, just so you are aware.
Yeah, might look at my fingies. Alright, that's done. It's not dripping too much now, so I'm going to take the top off. And this is why I love the lid, because I know there's probably still some residual in there. And now I'm not going to make a mess everywhere.
Oh.
And then I'm just going to take this straw and give... I like to mix it up when it's hot, just because I find it all incorporates better.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Personally. And honestly, so this is what I first found this coffee. I think I was 16 and I went to a Vietnamese restaurant a few towns over. And that's where I first learned about this coffee. And I was just like, this is amazing.
Really?
Which since I've seen it like blow up on social medias multiple times. But honestly, if you wanted to take it, you could add chocolate syrup. You could any chocolate or like caramel sauces or anything that you
Vanilla
want.
extract.
Yeah, and like really spice it up if you want to.
Oh, you know what? So, wait, besides the water and the ice, this was a 2-ingredient recipe.
Yeah, coffee
How-
and sweetened condensed milk.
Super easy.
And then
Y'all know I like only a couple of ingredients.
pour in the last of our ice.
Ah, beautiful.
All right. Be ready?
I'm so ready. Cheers! Oh, that is delicious.
Mm-hmm. I feel like a tablespoon for my preferences sweetens the coffee just enough.
It really does.
And since it's the sweetened condensed milk, it adds just enough creaminess that I'm not even like I want some cream or anything in
Yeah.
it. Like
It's perfect
it
the way it
balances
is.
for
Yeah.
me.
Yeah, I wouldn't do anything differently to mine. If you did use like chocolate sauce or something, if the chocolate sauce is sweetened, you might want to decrease your sweet condensed milk a little bit. But
What food are we making today now that maybe we have a bit more energy?
so on our Blackstone today, we are making Korean ground beef with a sautéed slaw and topped with French fried onions. So,
I'm very excited.
you know, I didn't grow up eating a lot of Asian food. My husband did, but he went to college in a town where, they had a lot of different varieties of food and that kind of thing. But I think in our town, all we had was like the traditional Chinese buffet that's Americanized that everyone
That's like
typically has.
yeah, like every now and then you're like, this is, like you get that craving
Mhm.
for it for some reason.
Which,
and you're
yeah,
just like,
there's nothing wrong with it. But it's not,
yeah.
I didn't grow up, I'm just saying, I didn't grow up eating a lot of variety of Asian food. And so when I was introduced to like Thai food or Korean food or Vietnamese, it was amazing because it was like, this is Asian food, not like what we're typically used to. So I am like really excited about like all the flavors of Korean food. They have like sweet and spicy, and it just pairs well together. This is actually using ground beef instead of like a lot of people use like shredded beef for their Korean beef and that kind of thing. But sometimes ground beef is just cheaper. It's more kid friendly. Sometimes if they're
Honestly,
picky eaters,
more available because I know that
Yeah.
like thin like strips I cannot achieve the like thigh steak or roast myself and achieve them to make
Yeah.
what cut I need. I'm not that skilled with a knife, but then also
that's
like
true.
our local I'm not able to go to our local butcher very often because of the price.
Mhm.
I go as often as I can to support local business, but
Right.
it's just not always possible. And then our supermarkets just they stock the basics, and I usually can't find it.
That's true. I'm gonna go ahead and throw my ground beef on my preheated Blackstone so I can get it cooking while I make up our sauce.
You want me to like smash it around?
That
and
would be
stuff,
great.
or-
Yeah. So, in my bowl here, I'm gonna take a half cup of soy sauce, a half cup of brown sugar, y'all know I should open everything off camera, but I did not today. Sorry. So get my half cup going here. And you can even use a fourth of a cup if you don't like overly sweet. But me, I have a sweet tooth, so I always go for a little bit more. And I just like sauce in general, if we're being honest. I like my food saucy. Pregnant, I did cry in the drive-thru line when they forgot the sauce for my chicken nuggets.
I remember that.
It happens.
I was not sure how to react because I was like, I know it's just sauce and it's probably the hormones, but like, I don't know how to help you. The dining room's closed.
I really love sauce. I can't help it.
Sorry.
So, go ahead and add my half cup of soy. So now I have a half cup soy, half cup of brown sugar, and I'm just going to get it nice and incorporated.
If you were soy-free, could you use coconut aminos instead of soy?
Yeah, you definitely can. At one point, I was dairy and soy-free, and I feel like it's such a great substitution for soy sauce. But it is a little bit more on the expensive side. But it tastes basically the same. I'm gonna do 2 teaspoons of sesame oil, which I feel like I couldn't find this at the actual grocery store. I had to go to my local Asian market to get it, but now I'm starting to see it like pop up everywhere.
Yes.
Which is great.
I love it because, like, I remember the first time I bought it, I thought, wow, that's a lot for a little bottle, but then I started using it, and I was like, oh, this is so good because you need just a drop.
Yeah, just a drop. So it lasts, like, a long time. All right, now I got some ginger. I'm probably going to do about, I would say 2 teaspoons of it as well. But you can add more or less depending on how you feel about ginger.
Would fresh ginger also be
Yeah, you could definitely
good
use.
if you wanted to chop it, grate it?
Yes, if you want to go into that effort, you sure can. Me, that's not my jam. Sometimes it's just easier to use powder.
Oh, I agree. I just know there's like some recipes that are like, no, you have to use the powdered because it is slightly different, or like you
No.
have to use
Not
fresh,
at all.
so-
Not here. Either way, it's just fine. It's just for personal preference. Now, my sriracha here. I'm going to have a little talk with you about it. You don't have to use it if you're cooking for kids who don't like spicy, or if you don't like spicy. It's optional. But we're going to put a little bit in, and then I'm actually going to top probably mine with it. Kate may or may not, depending on how she feels about her heat level. But this is what makes it so versatile on the heatness level, is that you can add more or less after you cook it. But I'm just going to do a half of a teaspoon, and I will add my own personal later. And there went a bird. Super easy. And that is it, except for I'm going to go over here and add about a teaspoon of onion and a teaspoon of garlic powder to our ground beef that's cooking.
We're probably like 70 to 80% done right now.
I just like to season the actual beef instead of just putting it in the sauce, because I like when I take a good bite of the beef to get a good flavor directly on it and not just in the sauce. But you can always just add it to your sauce since you're already adding your seasonings. Up to you.
I am being noisy today.
So now that she's got that almost done, I have a bag of coleslaw mix. It doesn't have like the dressing or anything in it. It's just green cabbage, carrots, and red cabbage. It is a 1-pound bag. And I'm just going to add it to the sides and the back right here, just because that beef is almost done, and I don't want to overcook my cabbage, but I do want it to get nice and soft. And look how beautiful that looks all with that. Ugh, love it.
It really does.
And then I chopped up a green onion, white and green separated. And I'm just going to take my white parts that I've chopped, and I'm going to throw directly into the beef to where they can start cooking with that as well. And once that beef is fully done and I don't see the pink or red to it anymore, is when I'm going to dump my sauce in it. So I'm just going to wait till it's completely done. That way we make sure that it is food safe to eat.
Yes. I believe we are there.
All right.
For
So,
sure.
I got my sauce. Thank you so much.
Of course.
And I'm just going to pour it all over the beef. That brown sugar stuck to the bottom, so I'm just going to make sure we get all of it out of the bowl, because we want that sugary goodness. if you could just incorporate that all together.
Absolutely. Do you want me to incorporate the cabbage in as well, or do you leave it on the sides for now?
Leave it on the sides for now. We want that sauce to really get into the beef.
Gotcha. Try and make a nice little
Beautiful. It's
layer.
doing its thing. And we're going to let it cook on it and get nice and warm and toasty and kind of that brown sugar caramelize onto the beef. And while that's doing that, I have to have another sip of that coffee.
Absolutely.
Is this me or is
Yes,
this me?
that one is yours.
Okay, perfect.
I normally don't get this much power over the recipe, so I was like, oh, I'll put it right by where you'll be standing.
I love it. I have some just white rice that I've already made here, and I'm going to go ahead and put some of that delicious beef cabbage mixture just right on top there. Already turned off my heat there. I'll come back and get the rest of that later. So, how I decorate this gorgeous plate. I have some French fried onions, and typically, okay, I'm sorry, I think they're just called fried onions. I have some fried onions here. They are what you top like a green bean casserole with, and that's honestly the only thing I ever thought to top them with until this dish, and now I'm basically using them on everything. I had this left over from Thanksgiving. I needed it used up. I put it on there, and it just added a delicious crunch and a little bit of onionness, and I mean, honestly, now I found myself putting this on everything. Fish tacos, just endless possibilities. Yeah. Oh, yeah, we did that the other day, too. So I'm just going to give a generous little helping here. And then I have those green onions that I chopped up, and I'm just going to sprinkle them on. And then here is where it's going to might be different. Because I'm going to go in for some sriracha, and I don't know if you would like any extra. It is up to
Let
you.
me try like a small piece of the beef. I could have like a small
Smidget.
drizzle,
Okay.
yeah. Not like too much, but a little bit would be just fine.
So I'm just gonna put extra over here and not as much there.
That should work.
Have a good taste. Get some cabbage in there. Get a little green onion and get some of that French fried onion. 'Cause I keep saying French fried onion. Fried onion.
I like can't keep it all on my fork. Oh my goodness. Here we go.
Isn't that delicious? Mm-hmm. And how easy was it? Like, you just threw everything on the Blackstone.
Yeah. And you would say, like, if someone had if they have a wok or if they just have a large skillet, you could completely just do it in a large skillet.
For sure. I've made this on the stovetop many times.
Mm.
But sometimes I do the cabbage slaw separate than the ground beef just because it doesn't all fit in the same skillet. But easy peasy.
Lemon squeezing.
Exactly. It's gorgeous. It plates beautifully. It tastes delicious. I mean, what's not
really
to love?
good. Yeah.
Has all those spicy, sweet flavors. That sesame oil just adds something.
Well, it's like, because it kind of hits me as almost sweet when I first take a bite, and then all the spices just kind of slowly build in my mouth, which I personally appreciate because I have one of the babyest mouths that you will ever meet.
I think after I got pregnant, I started just appreciating spice a little bit more for some reason, but
I mean, that's fair.
So, like I said, versatile. You're adding the sriracha on last unless you actually put it in the sauce, and so everybody can have their own varying heat level. But I guess that's it for today.
Yeah, so like always, if you enjoyed this video, if we entertained you in some way, please hit the like button down below.
Yes, and If you liked watching us and you want to see more from us, also consider hitting that subscribe button down there. And if you're already a subscriber, thank you so much. We appreciate your support. As always, the links to the recipes will be below. It'll take you directly to our website.
See you next time.
Bye.